Hi class, this is teacher Geraldine again, and welcome back to another lesson in computer system servicing. Our topic for week 8 is test termination or connections of electrical wiring or electronic circuits. For your competency this week, specifically, conduct complete testing of termination or connection of electrical wiring or electronic circuits in compliance with the specifications and regulations using appropriate procedures and equipment. Check wirings and circuits using specified testing procedures and respond to unplanned events or conditions in accordance with established procedures. To guide you along with our topic, what are the differences of analog and digital multimeter? How do you use an analog multimeter? And how do you use a digital multimeter? Say multimeter or multi-tester, or also known as VOM or voltometer, is an electronic measuring instrument that combines several measurement functions in one unit. A typical multimeter or multi-tester can measure voltage, current, and resistance. When used in this way, a multimeter is also known as a voltmeter when used to measure voltage, ammeter when used to measure current, and ohmmeter when used to measure resistance. There are two types of multimeter, the analog and digital multimeter. Analog multimeter is a multi-purpose electronic testing device, and the unit will be capable of measuring voltage, current, and resistance, and often has the functionality to test for frequency and signal power as well. The display of an analog multimeter usually relies on a microammeter to move physical pointer over a calibrated scale. The device may also be referred to as multi-tester or a voltometer. So we have here the different parts of our analog multimeter: the pointer, the scales, zero position adjuster, this one, the range selector knob, 0 ohm adjuster knob, test probes, and then the test pins. Pointer, this is a needle-shaped rod that moves over the scale of a meter. The needle pointer is mechanically connected to the moving coil, and the value the pointer hovers over indicates the value being measured by the multi-tester. Scale. This is how you read the value being measured. This is a series of markings in a semicircle. Zero position adjuster, or also known as a dial or infinity knob. This allows you to adjust the pointer to the zero position of the scale, and usually the help of a flathead screwdriver. Another part of analog computer is the range selector knob, also known as a selector switch. This allows you to adjust settings of the multi-tester. Using this, you can change what the multi-tester is measuring, as well as the range of the measurement. 5. Test pins. Multimeter test leads are an integral part of electrical measurement. For example, connecting your digital multimeter to the unit under test. If the test leads are in poor condition, this can lead to inaccurate readings and could result in a health and safety concern if live wires are being read as being de-energized. 6. Test probes. Test probes are flexible, insulated wires. They can establish an electrical connection between a multi-tester and a DUT without exposing electrical workers to live conductive parts. Red test probes connect to the positive terminal and blank test probes connect to the negative terminal. Again, red for positive, black for negative. 7. Zero ohm adjuster knob. The zero ohm adjuster or adjustment knob is used to calibrate the multi-tester when you want to measure the resistance of an object. There are steps on how to use analog multimeter when measuring resistance. A tab for the initial steps in using analog multi-tester. So initial step is to connect the test probe to the appropriate jack. Again, red for positive and black for negative. Check if the pointer rests exactly at the infinite zero position in ohmmeter range. It should be at the 0. 3. Check the probes if they are in good condition. Check the probes. Resistance measurements. So always do the initial steps in using an analog multi-tester, the one we had earlier. 2. In testing resistors, capacitors, and diodes, do not touch both test probe leads. Again, do not touch the leads because our body also has resistance that could affect the reading value of the electronic components we are testing. If you do not know the value of the resistor to be measured, find the ohmmeter selector setting until you have a clear reading in the ohmmeter scale. Select the desired resistance range scale with selector switch. Here, the pointer rests at 20 in the setting. Now let's proceed with digital multimeter. A digital multimeter is a tool that can measure amps, volts, and ohms. It is different from analog multimeter because the analog has needle and a gauge in that it has a digital light emitting diode display. So in analog, it has the needle and the gauge. However, in digital multimeter, it has a digital light emitting diode display. Digital multimeters are typically more accurate than their old analog counterparts. So we have here the parts of the digital multimeter. The display, this one, test probes, buttons, and a dial or rotary switch. Number 1, display. It is where the measurement readouts can be viewed. 2. Buttons. For selecting various functions. The options vary by model. 3. Dial switch. For selecting primary measurement values. 4. Test probes. So they are flexible, insulated wires. They can establish electrical connection between a multi-tester and a DUT without exposing electrical workers to live conductive parts. Again, same with analog, red is for positive and black is for negative. The steps on how to use digital multimeter in measuring resistance. First, use the resistance setting to measure resistors after disconnecting them. Second, insert the black test lead in COM and the red test lead in the ohms terminal. The symbol is for ohms. 3. Locate the area represented by the resistance sign. And this one. 4. Set the dial to a number above the resistance that's expected. 5. Place the probes on the resistor to test the amount of resistance. Attach the tips of the probes into each end of the resistor. This one is the resistor. We have here the probes. And that's it for our discussion. To sum up, analog multimeter and digital multimeter have the same functions. However, the display of an analog multimeter usually relies on a microammeter to move a physical pointer over a calibrated scale, while digital multimeter has a digital light emitting diode or LED display. Digital multimeters are typically more accurate than their old analog counterparts. For your activities, Week 8, Last 5, answer activities 1 and 2, pages 7 to 8, assessment page 8, and reflection in page 9. So that's it for our quarter 3. See you next quarter. Bye and God bless.